Hey everybody, welcome back. Yesterday, Mary and I, for Valentine's Day weekend, one of our things we did was we went thrifting, and we went on 280
Yeah.
towards Columbus, and we wanted to check out a few places. And first, guess we'll give you a rundown of the places we went to. The first one looked really cool, but it was kind of weird.
Yeah, they had a lot of really good stuff. They were a little overpriced. We got accosted by the old guy at the door.
He looked kind of like Ed Gein.
Yeah, he was really odd, and he approached us immediately with weird questions instead of just saying, "Hey, it's cold in there. You might want to bring your coat." He was all like asking us if we had coats. It was just weird. It was really weird.
Yeah, and then as soon as he found out where we were from, he wanted to sell us a 500-pound piece of wood that had an eagle and a tiger on it.
Yeah.
And then he asked us what we did, and we immediately noticed there were no prices on anything in there.
Yeah, they pretty much just sized us up and asked, all kinds of questions about what we did, and just so they knew what kind of price range we'd be willing to pay. It was pretty obnoxious.
Yeah, so suddenly a Life magazine that I wanted was $35, which was worth about $12.95. And so we walked out, but they did have a really good selection of vintage porn. In fact, it was all over the store. Playboy,
Lots of Playboys from the 60s.
in the 50s, and recently, Anna Nicole Smith times, because those were in the front. If you didn't catch them, they were all over. That was like a really R-rated store. And then there was a whole double-sided bookcase completely dedicated to Playboys. And I mean, looked like they went all the way back to the 50s. Didn't really want to touch them. And
No.
yeah, then there was. You also had like little erotic-looking dolls that were anatomically correct, which was kind of disturbing. Like in little cheesecake poses. Did you see those?
I didn't see that.
And he had some kind of dirty postcards too. So when you dug the layers, it just got creepier as we went. And the fact that he looked like Ed Gein didn't help.
Yeah.
And asked us a lot of weird questions.
Yeah.
So, next place.
One good thing I will say about that place is they had a lot of good stuff. They had a lot of jewelry, which this first place I've been to around in this area that had a lot of jewelry. I looked at the vintage children's books. They didn't have many, but he wanted like $10 to $12 for each one, which was kind of ridiculous for this area. I think if we'd been more prepared and had some cash on us and could have haggled a little bit, we probably could have gotten them down, but it just wasn't worth it because they were too weird.
It was a cool looking store though. That's what sucks about the whole thing, because the store itself was really neat looking. It just, once you got in there, you're like, whoa. So anyway, yeah. So that didn't pan out too well. Then we went to this really cool place in Columbus, and it was. Do you remember the name of the thrift store?
It was Gina's Junk.
No. Before we went to that, we went to Trinity Thrift.
Oh, yeah. Trinity.
And that's where we found yours.
Yeah, it was just a kind of random. It looked like she just opened. And I kind of like to go to places like that because you never know what you're gonna find. And in there, it was called Trinity Thrift or something like that. I'm not sure what part of Columbus, Georgia it was in, but it was pretty new.
It's like on Victory.
Buena Vista Road.
Buena Vista?
I think it was on Buena Vista Road. But this is something that caught my eye. I saw it. It's called Stocks and Bonds. It's a board game from the 60s. Just kind of crazy. It has all of its pieces.
I mean, it looks like it's barely been touched.
Yeah,
It's got a little calculator. This is real Mad Men-like.
Yeah, the notepad is still glued. There's plenty of pads left. Name of investor.
Little stock certificates.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
A little eraser.
It still has the chalk, and it's 1964.
Yeah, it still has the chalk.
This is
Still
awesome.
has the original dice. Let's see some of the things. It says National Firm leases company's largest office building, Metro Properties, +5. Company prospectors find huge new high-grade ore deposits, Uranium Enterprises, +10. So, I mean, you get points for some pretty goofy corporate stuff. This, to me, it looks pretty dull, but hey, it's interesting anyway. Let's see what the other pieces. Oh, even got a different games by the same company.
It's high bid.
Yeah, they all look fairly economic. Acquire, jumpin'.
Yeah, the real.
High bid.
This is so cool. I mean, it's such good condition too. And we got it for $5.
And look at this. Look for it's 3M.
Bookshelf games. Now, we had some bookshelf games when I was growing up, but they were like war games and stuff.
Yeah.
So this was a real find.
Yeah, it's pretty nifty.
Yeah, I'm actually wouldn't even mind trying to play it.
It looks like this belonged to Carl S. Porter.
Oh, his notebook, and
he was a Merrill Lynch person.
A Merrill Lynch, yeah. This might have been like a present to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, got another pad. Alpha Cements.
Yeah.
We gotta like open it up and see if there's anything hidden in there.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
There's
like,
a stock or a bond.
Yeah, we'll do it later. We're looking like idiots now.
But it's even got the how to play, so we can.
Yeah.
But it's from 1964 is the copyright on it, so.
That is so cool.
Kinda nifty.
Okay, so that was all we got that place, but it was really awesome because it was only $5.
Yeah, is this the game board?
Yeah, and it's like a chalkboard.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, Wall Street kind of thing. So, that was a good find. Next place we went to was Gina's. Gina's Junk.
Gina's Junk, she actually has a really good setup. She has a Facebook page and she has a blog where she puts all her new stuff on the blog. You can go to her website at ginasjunk.com. It's Gina with a G. And I friended her and liked the webpage on Facebook just so I could see what new stuff. But she really does have a lot of stuff. And the cool thing is it was not overpriced. It was
that was our cats.
Yeah, way to go, kitty. It was priced very much like a thrift store price would be. Maybe just a little bit more because she obviously is picking stuff that's worth getting.
This was $6. This old primer called Truant Peter from the Peter Prim series by McLaughlin Brothers. And on the inside it's inscribed, it says, presented to Miss Margaret A.E. Watkins by her instructor William C. Rowland, November 23rd, 1866. And he even writes Miss M-I-F-S, that old style, which means he was probably born in the 1700s. And as you can see, this is in very good condition for $6. It has the ones on the back. It has all the pages. This is beautiful. I mean, this is very old. This is the year after the Civil War that this was given to her. So it does have a little tape on the spine, but that's quite forgivable for the condition this is in. So this is a real huge find for me. Friday's like totally digging into that game, honey.
Stop it.
Okay. All right, your turn.
Patrick found this for me. This is, if you want to zoom out a little bit, it's just, it's just a little, probably like candy jar or something, with an acorn with a little squirrel sitting on top. She only wanted $3.99 for it, which is really a pretty generous price. I really don't know that it's worth anything. It is made in Taiwan, ROC, Republic of China. Who knows when it's from? It, may not be that old. It's got to be fairly old because there's a little bit of crazing starting. But, 60s, maybe, probably 70s, maybe, on that. But I like woodland creatures, so, the little squirrel on top was just one of those things I had to have. So, he's very cute for $4. I took him home.
Cool. Mary found this for me. It's a neat little frame with foreign coins on it, and it looks like it was professionally done in Atlanta. Peachtree Street Northeast by Mary Mobley Picture Framing. The latest coin is 1949, but there's coins from China, Germany, pretty much looks like Italy, looks like all over the world. It's just a neat little thing. It's missing one, but I can easily replace it. I can probably find one, and if I clean it up, I think this is a neat little thing to hang up around my coin collections anyway. Your turn.
I did find one children's book there. It was kind of interesting. This is apparently kind of a classic book, Goops and How to Be Them. When I first saw it, I was like, what in the world? And it's a manual of manners for polite infants. And by infants, they mean children. It's a really, really, really old book. I'm assuming that you pronounce that Gillette.
Yeah, Gillette Burgess.
Gillette Burgess. I looked up the book and found out that Gillette Burgess was a pretty famous poet and art critic and writer, and did a lot of he did a lot of writing and illustrating of children's books as well. This was actually a famous series that he did.
Did he found the Boys Club?
Yeah, he founded the Boys and Girls Club, what became the Boys and Girls Club. He also was the first person to bring the idea of cubism to America with an article that he wrote. So he was quite into the art scene as well. But his little illustrations of these little round-headed children that are really bad. And he just writes little poems about how bad they are to teach children what not to do. It's just really neat. And the book is really old. I can't remember when it was originally written. But this copyright is 1900, and this particular printing was 1928. But as you can see, it says, copyright 1900, 1928, but this is the 41st printing of this book, so it's pretty old.
Must have been pretty popular.
Yeah, so it still is pretty popular. You still buy brand new copies now. But what I like about this particular copy is you can feel the letterpress type printing on it. You can feel the old style printing. So the paper's that real nice supple cotton type paper. So
that's why it lasted so well.
Yeah, it's in really good shape. There's some crayon on the front, which I think I'm going to try to get off. But there is some ink pen on the back, which is probably not going to come off. But that's okay. The binding's in really good condition.
So the last thing I'm going to show you that I found, kind of going back to the whole Playboy thing. No, I didn't buy a Playboy because I would just feel creepy buying one. But in Genus,
I wouldn't want to touch them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to touch them anyway. I mean, but yeah, but I did find a 1953 Man's magazine, and this is called Sir, and this is not porn or erotica or anything. It's more like Maxim of the time. If you want to get right down to it, this was a masculine magazine. And as you can see by the headlines, why Kinsey must be wrong about women and stuff. It has articles about headhunters and adventure, and the ads are geared for, getting your hair back, rectal and colon troubles treated non-surgically. I mean, pretty much the same ads you find in Maxim now.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if you'd find
hair loss remedies, how you can be famous.
Colorectal cancer ads in Maxim.
I don't really. They have that thing for prostate, like by Al Sharpton. He's like, check your prostate and buy beta prostate. You get the free first swab for free. Yeah, it's 1953, and it does have can Martians mate with humans? I mean, look at these cheesy articles. I mean, to me, this is just really awesome because it's, this was edgy, man's entertainment back then, and it does have like a little cheesecake section that I'll show you. Free how to easily draw artist models. I mean, it was a pretty repressed time. This was the 50s, so this was without being completely, burned at the stake back then. This was probably as pervy as you could get and be a man. But it does have this little sort of cheesecake section, which I'll show you.
What was this article? Hold on,
what?
Sorry.
Oh,
the video is showing.
Handwriting tells all. Yeah. I'm telling you, it was kind of repressed back then. Okay, now notice these are topless women, but they did crudely Photoshop some kind of thick covering on her. Here's a better look. You can kind of clearly see that this was a PG-rated magazine, but would you say she was nude and then that was colored over?
Yeah, it was probably, placed over the film.
Yeah.
When they developed and however they did it back then.
So this is kind of like what Maxim was like. And if you know anything about Maxim, it's pretty well photoshopped out too. It's pretty PG and physically impossible. So anyway, I just thought this was interesting. No, I don't think this isn't. I'm not a Maxim reader. You can ask Mary, but I just think it's interesting to see what a man's magazine from the 50s was like. This was what they were reading, and this was probably the.
And it's interesting. This was an article about. The findings of the Kinsey report, and
Yeah, and the Kinsey report might have upset a lot of men in the 50s because it kind of showed that women enjoyed. Without making my channel I like to keep this a family channel, but if you understand the basis of the Kinsey report, you could probably understand why some chauvinistic men in the 50s had a problem with it. So, yeah, and I do try to keep this channel PG.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's really nothing bad about this. It's you know, pretty interesting. There's a story about the Lindbergh case.
Yeah.
It was just interesting to see early magazines that were geared toward men because you don't see a lot of those at all.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that. Your turn.
The last thing that I found that was interesting is goes back to my collection of children's books from vintage children's books, and these are 2 coloring books actually, never been touched by a crayon. I can't exactly tell you when they're from, but being 39 cents a piece, I would say that
I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess
60s.
60s,
Yeah.
early 60s, late 50s.
Yeah, but they're weird to me because they're color by number, which I never saw color by number coloring books. I mean, I thought that was the whole point of coloring books when you're a kid, is that you could make your clown purple and teal and, you know, pink if you wanted to, but they're telling you what to do. They are Dutch coloring books is the name of the brand, and this one is called Carousel, and it looks like just the story of a little boy that's going to the circus or a carnival of some sort or other, and it's the whole story of that. And this one's Thumbelina, and there's lots of just really cute imagery of little birds, and I like that one in particular. It's just kind of nifty. There were some fish in here that were really cool. Those little fish are really cool. But I just thought it was really neat. And the fact that they've never been colored in, pretty impressive. I wish there was some kind of date on them. The Dutch Trading Essay, printed in the USA, New York, New York. But I paid $3 for each of these, which is pretty darn good considering these have never been colored in at all.
Okay, well, anyway, we hope you enjoyed our little thrift store haul, and we'll try to do more of these. And if they allow us, and if we continue to go to the same places, we might actually bring the camera with us when we go in and look for stuff. I think the owners would probably be cool with that too, because, you know, it's just like free publicity. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and until next time, bye.